Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But what happens when talent does work hard? Performance, magic, emotion. How do we know? Because we've been at the heart of that story for over a century. We brim with pride when athletes train on ORTA venues and then step up to the tiered podium. We cheer them on when they travel for competition and wait for the moment they return. March 2022, a month with spectacular events. World University Championships in speed skating, USCSA National Collegiate Ski and Snowboard Championships, the 60th ECAC Ice Hockey Championship, Welcome Home Parade featuring 2022 Olympians, FIS Continental Cup in ski jumping and Nordic combined, NCAA Division III Hockey Championship, USA Bobsled and Skeleton National Selections, USA Biathlon National Championships, and US Speed Skating Age Group Nationals in short track speed skating. Be here this March when champions return to the Olympic region for a season finale like no other. And see for yourself the hard work and preparation that turns talent into unforgettable competitions right here at our venues in Lake Placid, New York.
And looking at the epic ski jumps in Lake Placid, New York. We're here for the FIS Lake Placid Continental Cup, the men's Nordic competition. Hello, everybody. I'm John Morgan, joined by 2010 Olympic Games gold medalist Billy DeMong. We have 15 athletes, 5 different nations here, Billy, on a second day of competition.
Look, John, this is going to be an incredible day. Great weather for this late in the season. You know, we're almost into April, and here we are. Beautiful new ski jumps. We got Peter Graves.
Thank you very much. I'm Peter Graves, the third member of the team, standing by at the Intervale ski jumping complex that has recently been completely refurbished and rebuilt in getting ready for the FIS Games coming up next January. So Intervale, this is a place with a great deal of history. It was on this site that the 1932 jumping events happened. Of course, that was long ago. But then these big towers, which happen to be the tallest man-made structure between Albany and Montreal, were built in 1978 and 79. They were ready to go for the pre-Olympics in 79, and of course this was the site of the 80 Games. You see the normal hill, which will be on today for Nordic combined, and of course the large hill, the granddaddy of them all, K120. That is the largest event at the Olympic Games for special jumping. A lot of history here. Right over here, some of the smaller jumps that you can see. Interestingly enough, for many, many years before the advent of plastic that you could jump on year-round, on the 4th of July every year, they lovingly had ice stored from the previous winter from Mirror Lake, stored it in ice houses covered with sawdust. They brought it out here, and they had some 3,000 people come out for summer jumping on crust ice. The history is great here. When I'm here, I can always feel it, and just so happy to be with you. Let's send it back to you for the ski jumps. I'm Peter Graves.
Thank you, Peter, for that wonderful perspective, historical element of this hill, which it is. Paul Smith College has built world-class cross-country ski trails along with the only biathlon range on a college campus in the United States. It is located not far from Lake Placid. One of its students, Aiden Ripp, is competing today. He maintains a 4.0 cumulative average in biology. Here's what he says about being a student at Paul Smith College.
The Vic Trails and the Nordic venue right on campus is just an absolutely beautiful thing. To be able to just walk out my dorm and go grab my skis and go out and ski is just amazing.
For more information, go to paulsmith.edu. We come right out to our first competitor, Aiden Ripp. He's from Paul Smith College. You know a lot about him too, don't you, Bill?
I do. This kid is really fast. He's had some great results this year, but he's you know, toward the end of the season, a little bit struggling on the ski jump, but he's a real pioneer at the Paul Smith College Center for Sports and Education.
Yeah, he's a much better skier. He went from 16th to 10 yesterday in the ski part of the competition. So Aiden, he's our first down. Rabbit.
Looks like a little bit better than yesterday, and here we go with number 2, Pavel Sindlar of Poland.
Poland, it's a big sport in Poland, ski jumping. #1 sport for a TV audience in the winter, other than soccer.
Yep, and just to catch everybody up, so we're We're in the finale for the Continental Cup Series this year for the FIS Continental Cup. So this is a 2-jump event. We're tuning in for the second round. So Pavel was bib number 5 in the first round. He'll keep that bib, but we're going to go in reverse order from the first jump. So he was second to last after the first jump, and we move on to the person who was in third to last, Eric Lynch. Eric, a young athlete from Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. Looks like a nice ride for Eric, and I think that might actually help him move up the results in this second round a little bit.
Well, that looks like no wind. Looks like perfect skiing condition, jumping conditions, huh?
Absolutely. And look, Eric is battling through a lot of health issues. He's been really determined, and you can see it's starting to pay off. With a jump of 82, I would be really surprised if he's not a little bit closer to the fight today.
Ladies and gentlemen, now get ready for your ride down this historic track. We're showing you this. This is right behind where our broadcast center is, right behind where the Nordic Center is. They put this in last October. What a huge success. Billy, you've been on it.
I have, actually, and you voiced it over. It's really incredible. There's a lot of history mingled in with a lot of adrenaline rush.
You know, the beautiful fall colors when they filmed all this, but if you get a chance to come to Lake Placid, take the historic coaster ride. It goes down the old track where it was built for the 32 and 80 games, and you won't regret this experience. Great thing for the kids.
All right, and here we come back. We've got Henry Johnstone of Williams College and USA Nordic's junior national team. Henry having a great season as well. That's a good solid jump for Henry. Definitely over the 80-meter marker. We'll have to see here. Might not be quite enough to stay ahead of Eric Lynch in the second round.
So why did they take 2 jumps in the 15K and only 1 jump in the 10K? What's the difference there?
Honestly, it's a season finale. We're going with a longer race than they've done all season. 15K is, substantially further, actually, more than just 5K. It's a different energy system. So they're going to take 2 jumps, give the jumpers a little bit more of a head start than normal, because the race really will bring out the fastest cross-country skiers in the last couple laps. We've got Aaron Costner from Italy. Aaron's been on this North American tour from Park City to Whistler to Lake Placid.
Well, a lot of stops on the Continental Tour, like 18 stops on the season, right?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty busy, very busy tour, and I have to thank the Italian team, especially Italians, Germans, Austrians, that were able to make the trip overseas here late in the season on the Olympic year. So 85.5 meters for Aaron Costner. That'll definitely probably put him in the lead right now after 2 jumps with 5 athletes gone. Now we've got Caleb Zuckerman from Ford Sayre.
89 meters in the first round. Let's see what he does here.
That was a good, solid jump. I really like the way this kid flies. He's on his skis. He's very patient in the air. Nice, clean move.
How hard is it to duplicate it from jump to jump, Bill?
You know, John, it's like any sport. It's pretty mental. So the more you think, the harder it is to replicate. If you just let your body do what it's trained to do, it usually goes pretty well. 88.5 meters, so that basically matches his first jump and does put him in the lead here. 6 jumpers into the second round. All right, and here we go with our first Austrian competitor of the second round, Marc-Louis Rayner. That's a nice looking jump. And that's a lot of distance. I couldn't quite tell how many meters, but let's see what the video distance says.
Wow.
First jump at 98 meters. And this one.
This is way down the hill.
Oh, yeah, very close to the 100-meter mark. So looks like 97 meters.
Best jump of the second round so far.
Absolutely. Definitely in the lead right now. Jasper Good, top American, one of the top Americans at the Beijing Olympics.
93.5 in his first run, and he got it down there also.
That's another good-looking jump for Jasper. Nice clean move. Jasper's really developed as a ski jumper this last season.
Whoa, he got it down there.
Yep.
Good landing.
Looks like 96 meters for Jasper Good. That's the lead right now, so he slots in right in front of Mark-Louis Rayner. Steven Schumann, he was on the podium yesterday for the first time. Young kid out of Park City, also a Beijing Olympian. Got his first top 25 at the games.
Started 5th
That was a
in
very
the
nice
skiing
looking
and
jump.
moved into the bronze medal position on the last lap.
Yeah, 89 meters on his first ride.
Flying. How do you describe that feeling, Billy?
Oh, it's incredible. When you're laying on your skis like that, 93 meters for Steven Schumann, that's an addictive feeling right there. So we're back here with German David Mock. He was just off the podium yesterday, but one of the top athletes here at the Park City or at the Lake Placid Continental Cup event.
93.5 in his first jump. This looks like, boy, he's down the hill. Looks like he's going to better his mark.
Nice solid telemark, 94.5 meters, but I'm looking at the judges' scores as they come in, and it looks like that's going to put him into third place right now behind Jasper Good and Mark-Louis Rayner. Tate France, yesterday's jumping champion, the phenom out of Lake Placid, New York, is only 17 years old. Another great-looking jump for him.
Was that his best performance in any of these Continental Cups yesterday in jumping?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can count on one hand, I think, the number of times that Americans actually won the jumping in a Continental Cup event. So,
being on his home hill, is that an advantage?
Oh, absolutely. Bright future for this kid. 91.5 meters. That puts him in second place right now, right behind Jasper Good. And here comes Grant Andrews, one of the veterans of the Nordic combined team. Very good ski jumper. Nice stable flight. Hard to tell on the distance from my angle, but let's see. He had a good solid first jump of 91.5. That looked to be a similar distance. You can see how quiet he is in the air. Definitely going to get some good style points from the judges for that. And 91.5 again. So that puts Grant currently into fourth place, just behind David Mock.
The Olympians Welcome Home Parade kicked off in Lake Placid on March 24th with hundreds of athletes, including many former Olympians and over a dozen who competed last month in Beijing. Lake Placid is in the midst of hosting a number of events in the month of March, and this weekend is a busy one with the USA National Biathlon Championships, the FIS Men's and Women's Continental Ski Jumping event, and Nordic combined competitions, along with the D3 Men's Ice Hockey National Championships. But the evening belonged to a celebration of the past, present, and even the future Olympians, with a parade down the main street of Lake Placid onto the new Olympic Oval, where speeches were made to celebrate the Olympic legacy of Lake Placid. The MC of the evening was Paul Wiley, who was the 1992 Olympic silver medalist in figure skating and the director of sport for the Olympic Authority.
This village has been in the Olympic winter sports business for over 100 years.
Olympic Authority CEO Mike Pratt talked about what the world needs now.
The world needs sport right now. We need unifying values, competitions, fairness. We're happy that all you athletes are here to help show us the way to a better world.
Two-time Olympic alpine skiing medalist Andrew Wybrook talked about what it meant to him growing up in Lake Placid.
It was such a pleasure and such an honor to grow up in Lake Placid and to be part of the Olympic fabric here.
But the highlight of the evening was the 2022 Olympic bronze medalist in women's bobsled, Sylvia Hoffman, who provided an emotional speech of what she went through to become an Olympian.
So I want to thank the community of Lake Placid. I want to thank the state of New York. I also want to thank ORDA and the Federation of USA Bobsled and Skeleton for giving me the opportunity to train with you all. I couldn't do that alone. It took you all and it took everyone that believed in me to help us get this Olympic bronze medal that I have right here today.
There were many other former Olympians who were very impressed with the celebration of Lake Placid's Olympic legacy.
It's incredible. Like, not only do you have a ton of historical hometown Olympians, you've got a ton of Beijing Olympians, and a whole host of athletes that are here to compete in a bunch of different sports, and a ton of excited youth. So, awesome day.
Inspiring, and to be here with just like friends and family who were supporting us before they even knew we were going to be Olympians was just a great feeling.
I grew up dreaming about the Olympics, so to make it come true this year and just see everyone in town, all my friends, all my family, it's just an unreal experience.
Lake Placid always surprises me with the Olympic spirit, where it comes out, when it comes out. It can be a shoulder season like now, it can be in the middle of winter, it can be in the middle of summer, and the winter Olympic spirit comes out.
At the end of the evening, Sylvia Hoffman lit the torch and opened up the weekend of national championships and Olympic celebrations.
Well, that was a fun event, John, and we've only got a handful of athletes left here, so we're going to get right back to it with Nick Siegmund from VSC Klingenthal, another German athlete. He was very strong yesterday.
Germans weren't as strong in ski jumping this year. I mean, as they are in the other winter sports.
Yeah, definitely, you know, it's cyclical. I can say, though, Nordic combined, they've been very dominant for the last decade or so. This is the young crew coming up to regain the top step. It's been really tough, though. The Norwegians have been very strong the last couple of years. 94.5 meters for Nick Siegmund. That's a little bit off his first jump of 97.5. However, that does put him in the lead right now as his teammate, Wendelin Tonheimer, makes his way down the jump.
He was second yesterday in the competition.
He was second. That was a huge jump. Let's see.
He likes it, too.
99 meters on his first jump. That had to have been every bit of that. And, you know, he was the one that went out on his own early on in the race yesterday, so he obviously can ski as well. That's a huge jump.
That's the farthest thing we've seen.
100 meters. I almost think it was further than that, but, well, that definitely puts him in the lead right now going into the cross-country race this afternoon with 1 to go.
Yeah,
Jakob Lange, yesterday's champion.
Yeah, there's the green jersey, which is the sign of the Continental Cup leader, and he flies down the hill, too.
That's another big jump. I don't think it had the distance of Wendelin, but
98 meters in his first round, and here, boy, it's still a long ways down this historic hill. Wow.
Let's see here, the distance for Jakob, 95.5, and just enough between the distance and the style points. He had really nice style. That puts him in the lead. So you can see here he's going to be starting 4 seconds ahead of Wendelin Tonheimer, and Nick Siegmund from Germany will be starting another 29 seconds behind Jakob Lange, with Jasper Good of the United States about 15 seconds behind Nick going into this afternoon's race. Jasper obviously tied with young phenom Tate France from Lake Placid. So this will be kind of a dogfight. I think how this sets us up, it looks like Germany could sweep the podium, but obviously the Americans are going to want to get in there and break up that German sweep. You know, based on yesterday, I think Jakob's going to be tough. Wendelin obviously showed that he's a strong cross-country skier, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to try to chase down Jakob Lange right out of the gate. But on the flip side, John, I think there's an opportunity here for the American guys to play off each other. You've got Steven Schumann not super far behind. They could work together to actually try to break up that German pack and overtake Nick Siegmund early in the race.
But it's a 15K race.
It is.
Very different. It's a third longer than yesterday. And so what happened to you when you went from a 10 to a 15K race? Were you competitive?
So in my day, 7.5 and 15 were actually the distances we did all the time. And in a 7.5K, I was pretty average, but in a 15K, I could overcome minutes. So it is a quite different situation we have this afternoon. And again, these athletes have not been doing this distance all year. So we're going to probably see some different results than we've been used to this season this afternoon.
And what was your distance that you won the gold medal on?
So that was a 10K. That was after the switch to the standalone 10K, which I didn't particularly like. I like that extra 5K to make up some real time at the end of the race when people got tired.
And how about the conditions?
Well, today looks to be a little bit drier. Yesterday we had some rain. Today it's a little bit colder, and the snow seems to be a little bit better set up. Obviously, this morning we had a huge biathlon competition with almost 200 athletes. So they've been out there grooming the course, putting some chemicals on it, getting that snow firmed up. So it should be pretty fast this afternoon. If anything, we'll probably see the per lap time be a little bit faster than yesterday.
And what they did yesterday, is that put a drain on what they have to do today, or are these just well-tuned athletes?
No, I think actually a lot of these athletes will feel even better now that they've got a day of racing under their belt. What I noticed as an athlete, especially once you kind of get over the age of 20, is day after day you might feel more tired, but you'll ski even faster, probably up to at least 5 or 6 days in a row.
And this is the last official event of this excruciating year that started in October. But when do you start training as an athlete for this off-season training?
Typically, I can't speak for all the countries, but for the United States, we typically take about 2 weeks off and start the whole process all over again.
Well, we're almost ready. We're about 20 minutes away to our 15K race, but we're going to look back at the women's race this morning, the FIS Continental Cup, the final stage of women's competition from the historic jump in, here in Lake Placid,
Another great competition. Great to see women ski jumping at the FIS level here in the United States for the first time in over a decade, and obviously the first FIS women's competitions here in Lake Placid. So let's get right to it. I want to see the replay of the second round here.
Well, the women are getting ready. There's a little bit of an adjustment, and 2 rounds, perfect conditions that they're going to fly in. Again, what are they thinking about? This is the final stop of the year, right?
Yep. I mean, again, like we talked about yesterday, this is the gateway to the World Cup, and these athletes are out here trying to get points and spots for their nation for next year.
Well, and again, the Continental Cup is the stepping stone to the World Cup.
Yep.
Do you have to accumulate so many points, or do you have to be in the top 5, or is it in the country that nominates you? How do you get in there?
So in this series, the athletes actually need to be in the top 3 of the overall period.
For the Continental Cup women enters day number 2. This is the final event of a long and arduous season for these jumping women. And we have had, for this time of year, remarkably stable weather conditions. The hill has held up very well. Well, I think the big story is the battle between some Americans and the Europeans, particularly the Austrians. As you know, Austria has a deep and rich history in ski jumping, and the women have picked it up very, very well. 2 of them particularly I look to do very well here today. That is Katharina Allmeyer and then Hannah Wigle, both Austrians. They've been jumping very well. They've had good training jumps here today. And then, of course, the U.S. always could be a factor here. Annika Belshaw has been jumping extremely well for the U.S. women's program, Nina Lucy, and others. So I think we're going to have an exciting final day here. Anything could happen, though. That gust of wind could come up. You just never know. But I think the women are set for a really interesting showdown.
Peter, here's the results after the first heat.
Yep, so pretty similar setup to yesterday. Annika Belshaw won her first Continental Cup yesterday here in Lake Placid. She's leading after the first round, but we're going to get started in reverse order here with young Estella Hasrick from Wisconsin.
Good jump.
That's a much better jump for Estella. Great way to end her season. Nice clean jump. Gets right over her skis. Looks to be a distance of about 65 meters. 61 meters. Estella has made huge progress this year. All right, and here comes our first Italian competitor in the second round, Noella Vuric.
Italian's not as strong in ski jumping as they are in biathlon. They're really, really good in that sport. Of course, alpine. But they do have a little history in Nordic combined, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Alessandro Pettin was one of my contemporaries. He won the bronze medal behind Johnny Spillane in 2010. But this young women's team, both in Nordic combined and in ski jumping, has been really successful. So obviously they're trying to move some younger athletes up, just like the United States is. And here comes our next one, Josie Johnson from Park City, Utah. Josie just started driving, but she's an incredible 16 years old. She's an incredible ski jumper, mountain bike racer.
And how different are these jumps with the frost rails on the in-runs compared to what they have in Park City? Is that a different?
It is, yeah.
speed?
This is the modern technology, and there's a couple things here. One, it protects against weather. You know, days like today would have been really hard in the past with warm temperatures melting the snow. On the flip side, it creates a frictionless platform so the athletes can be very aggressive. And
down the hill, we're going, the reverse order.
Yep, and this is Martina Ambrosi from Italy. No, her first jump was 81. This looks to be pretty similar. Right now, after 3 athletes, her teammate Noella is leading ahead of Josie Johnson and Estella Hasrick of the U.S., but I think that's going to be enough. Yep, Martina takes the lead with a jump of 78.5 meters.
And they're thinking of 2026, their home country.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and we're back with our first competitor from Sweden, Astrid Norstedt, another pioneer in the sport. Sweden, not historically a big ski jumping nation, but the women's program is really up and coming with the coach Aki.
She's one of the oldest in the field at 20 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of young athletes out here.
Absolutely. She doesn't look super happy with her jump, but let's see. Her first ride was 83.5. This might have been just a hair shorter, but she's got a really nice, clean flight position. Looks to be right around 80 meters.
This is the first ever women's event held in Lake Placid, right?
It is. Yep, at the FIS level, it is. So 80.5 meters, just enough to put her in the lead right now in front of the 2 Italians and 2 Americans. Paige Jones, Park City ski and snowboard athlete and USA Nordic national team member. Paige battled back from a very serious injury at the end of last season and just showing that she hasn't lost anything. Her first jump of 83 meters, that must have been a bit of an improvement there. Let's see what
she got down the hill.
Yeah, look how clean she is in the air.
Some people better flyers than others.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And Paige is, 86.5 meters, so that puts her into the lead now.
Okay, now next up, Nina
Ooh,
Lucy
next
from
up,
Lake Placid, New York.
We've got the hometown hero, Nina Lucy of Lake Placid, New York. First jump, 87 meters. Nice jump, looks to be similar. She looks happy. I've heard rumor this might be Nina's last FIS competition, but we're birthday buddies and similar in size, so I have a feeling I'm going to be trying to get some equipment from her now, and we can participate in the Masters circuit.
Division.
Yep.
Nina's jump, 85 meters.
Very consistent.
Hold her place.
Yep, that puts her right into the lead there, right in front of Paige. Rumor has it there'll be birthday cake out here at Van Hovenberg after the race today. All right, here we go. We've got a few athletes left, about 6 actually. Anna Hoffman, Team USA's sole women's ski jumper at the Olympics this year in Beijing. That looks like a nice ride for Anna.
89 meters in the first. What a thrill for her to all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with 2 weeks to go, she gets named to the team.
That was a real special moment for me as a director to be able to let her know that we were able to figure out the logistics at the last minute to get her to Beijing safely. Nice jump of 87 meters for Anna, so that puts her in the lead just in front of her teammate Nina Lucy. It looks like Anna's birthday is the day before Nina's, so it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
All right, and here comes,
Natalie
this is
Ehlers.
Vanessa Mohoric from Austria. That was a big jump. Definitely the longest we've seen in this round, well over the K point. So she took a little bit of a lower line. You can see how much height she has here.
Well, she did get down there, though.
Yeah.
Wasn't a perfect landing, but
Well, that matches her first jump at 94 meters and definitely puts her into the lead.
Austria, known power in ski jumping for a long time.
Absolutely. Okay, here comes our Canadian athlete, Natalie Ehlers of the Altius Nordic Ski Club.
Looks like a little snow coming down there, Bill. Does that affect?
It does, actually. And, you know, with the ice track, it does create a situation where it gets a little sticky. So what they have up there right now is blowers that will clean that track out in between rounds. Looks like Natalie had a good solid jump past the K point as well. But I don't know if that's far enough to stay in front of the Austrian.
Right here, boy, she flew 92.5.
92.5. That does put her into the second position right now, though, behind Vanessa of Austria. All right, we're down to our last 3 competitors now. Katharina Elmauer of Austria. Katharina was in 3rd place after the first jump of 91 meters, and that was longer.
Oh, she got down there. That could be enough for a medal. 3rd after the first jump. And she looks on.
She was one of our top athletes in yesterday's competition, but I think that's going to be enough to take the lead. Let's see.
Do you know, Bill? Can you just feel it when you get a great jump?
Absolutely. Somewhere right around the knoll, you feel like some hand grabs your waist and just picks you up. So 93 meters, a bit of an improvement over her first jump, and that's enough to take the lead right now. So she's guaranteed a podium. Next up, we have Hanna Wiegel of Austria as well.
She can do.
She had a big jump in the first round, 92.5 meters. That looked to be even further. So the blowers must be doing a good job to keep that track condition nice and fast for these final athletes.
92.5 in the first round. This looks farther. You know.
Really aggressive flight. You can just see how she carries her speed all the way down the hill.
Ooh, 94.
94 meters. That's enough to put her in the lead in front of her teammate. So right now we have 3 Austrians at first, second, and third, with the last American athlete who was leading after the first round, Annika Belshaw, yesterday's tie for champion. Annika for sure is a competitor. So
snow coming in, though.
I have no doubt she's going to have a great jump. It's just going to be a matter, is it enough to maintain that lead that she's carrying from the first round? Is going to be close. Let's see. So her first jump, 95 meters. Oh, it's a nice clean takeoff. Ooh, it's hard to tell. We're going to have to wait for the distance on that one. Certainly over the K point.
Good form.
Oh, yeah, 90, definitely over the 90-meter mark. 93 meters. 93 meters.
Close. I don't think that does it. I think
after tying Hannah yesterday, it looks like Hannah edged her out today by 2 points.
Still a great weekend for that young lady.
Absolutely. Again, you know, up-and-coming squad. Annika's one of the leaders of the squad on the results page. Had her first Continental Cup victory yesterday, second place today. You can see the flower ceremony from this morning. We'll be coming back here after the race for awards here at Mount Van Hovenberg.
Great shot. There's our results.
So, again, this is in reverse order. So, and actually, this is the first round results. So
not the final results, yeah, but it was pretty much the same, the top and the bottom.
We'll get that fixed and flash that back up for you guys in a bit. But we're almost time here for the Nordic combined race. We got about 10 minutes till the start of the event.
You know, we had biathlon here. All sorts of biathlete people, including one of our Lake Placid Olympians, Andrew Wybrick, this morning. It was unbelievable, you know, what he was doing. But,
I saw him right after he finished. He looked like he had a blast. He had a big smile on his face.
Yeah. So we're a few minutes away from this 15K. Going to be interesting. No snow. It was snowing a little bit earlier. Would that have done anything to the course, that little snow on it? Put a little film on
that
it?
that new snow tends to pack into the bases and act like brakes. You know, it's when it initially falls, especially on this wet snow, it's actually pretty slow. So same thing that happens on the ski jump would happen here on course, but I don't see anything when I look out the window here, John. I think we're going to be nice and safe this afternoon with some good fast conditions.
So the U.S. Biathlon National Championships, over a couple hundred athletes, one of the largest fields ever for a national championships in biathlon, and it was fun out there watching some of these athletes. Andrew Wybrick, look at this, two-time Olympic medalist in alpine skiing from Lake Placid. He comes down as his first ever biathlon competition, and people were cheering him on. And
he looks like an old pro. Look at him.
And we got a chance to talk to him right here too. It was pretty cool to what he had to say. Again, two-time Olympian in alpine skiing. Andrew Wybrick, his first ever biathlon competition.
How cool is this?
Yeah, he was a little out of breath when we caught up to him, but you know, again,
first time shooting a biathlon rifle was this morning, so that was it.
Got a little different respect for these biathletes?
Oh, I always had a lot of respect for them. I'm more impressed with how they shoot, because I shot 2 for 20, so there's a lot of extra laps.
Yeah, and how about the facility?
It's unbelievable. This is actually the first time that I've been on the new facility, and just hearing what it was like a couple days ago, and then they were able to flip the switch, make the snow they needed for this caliber event. It's incredible.
How about the number of people here?
Well, yeah, I mean that too. It's amazing, you know. It's like a field of dreams. If you build it, they will come, and it's exciting to have this caliber of competition in Lake Placid and this number of athletes that are excited about it.
Out of Lake Placid, you, my late brother Jim, Andrew Wybrick.
Didn't you say something like 100 in all?
100 total athletes of 100 plus athletes from the region, we like to say. But again, you and Andrew came out at the same time. You guys both, Andrew won his bronze medal in 2010.
Yep.
You won yours and your gold medal in 2010.
But yeah, absolutely incredible upgrades here.
Since the inception of the Winter Olympic Games in 1924, over 100 athletes have come from Lake Placid and the surrounding region and represented the United States at the Winter Olympic Games. Names like Andrea Kilborn-Hill, Andrew Wybrick, Billy DeMonk, Chris Masder, and Tim Burke in the modern area, but the legacy goes back decades with families like the Stevens brothers in 1932 or the Shea family, and then the many famous individuals like Art Devlin or Stan Benham, most of who are all in the Lake Placid Hall of Fame. This year's Olympic team of athletes from the region includes Hunter Church from Katyville, Chris Masder of Saranac Lake, Emily Sweeney and Sean Hollander of Lake Placid, and Johnny Gustafson from Messina. And it is estimated that close to 40% of the 2022 USA Winter Olympic team has come through the Lake Placid facilities. In fact, 100% of the U.S. team in the sports of ski jumping, cross-country skiing, biathlon, bobsled, luge, and skeleton were all on the Lake Placid venues in 2021. The 1980 Olympic facilities have been modernized to enable year-round training and events which will support the athletes in their Olympic quest. And the director of sport for the Olympic Authority, Paul Wiley, believes it perpetuates the Lake Placid legacy.
Lake Placid has sent an Olympic athlete to every Olympics since 1924, over 100 athletes. In fact, the first gold medal in the Winter Games was won by a Lake Placid native. So we're set up now for the future because of this investment that New York has made. These incredible venues are now world-class, homologated trails for skiing, snowboarding, snowboarding, biathlon, ski jumping, figure skating, all of the different sports are perfectly ready for the next 40 years.
The next time you travel to Lake Placid, check out all of the new Olympic facilities. And when you enter town, you will feel what these athletes have felt for almost 100 years. An Olympic experience like no other. Well, FIS Lake Placid, the Continental Cup, men's Nordic combined, the 15 kilometers. I'm John Morgan, joined by the 2010 Olympic Games gold medalist in Nordic combined, Billy DeMung. This was the Olympic jumping complex where we had the jumps this morning. Now we transfer out to this brand new Mountain Pass Lodge at Mount Van Hovenberg. And Bill, my first days walking in here, it is amazing what New York State has done revitalizing these facilities.
Absolutely. I mean, it's rare to have a place host a game twice. It's only happened a couple times, let alone 100 years essentially post first games to be in the best shape of its entire existence. These venues are incredible. They've really thought through all the things that need to happen here. It's absolutely fantastic, John.
Chevrolet, one of the longtime sponsors of the Olympic Authority here in Lake Placid. Nice display. So over here on the right are the trails, and on the left, the biathlon range. Start-finish line for the 15K. It's right over there, coming up shortly, and it's really a breathtaking facility. I mean, you know, I've been coming out through these gates of Mount Van Hovenberg my whole life for the bobsled track, but all of a sudden now you come through the gates and you've got this fantastic combined facility here that hosted 200 biathletes from around the United States this morning, teams from Alaska in here, and you know, it just, I mean, look, and you could tell all the man-made snow here, Bill.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, this is modern day sport. There would have been times we would have canceled events on Christmas Day or January because of snow. Now we have this incredible snowmaking system. They needed to make snow this week. They flicked on 100 guns overnight, and here we have plenty of snow for all these races all weekend long. I mean, just look as we pan around here and look back at the center where we're sitting right near that bridge going into the building. Incredible venue.
Look at the bobsled run. Look at the coaster ride up to the left. There's the trails on the left that are pretty competitive trails. You've been on the trails, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what they've done here is they've tied together some really modern, really challenging trails right here near the center for all these world-class competitions, but it's still tied to the historic trails from the 1932 and 1980 Olympic Games.
Now we're getting ready to go for our 15K, the last event of the year in the Continental Cup Series that started in November. Some of these athletes, well, you know, there's a pretty close race between a couple Germans, but as you say, Billy, in 15K, anything can happen. How far back can somebody come from to win here?
I mean, honestly, I would say, you know, as much as 3 minutes in a race this long and this hard. You know, obviously we've got some real serious veteran talent at the front there with Jakob Lange, but Tonheimer, quite a bit younger than him, not as much experience.
So you're saying that Caleb Zuckerman, United States, in 10th place, he's 240 back, he's got a chance?
I would say if it was me, I'd be gunning 2 minutes to 3 minutes up that results page right now.
Top 10 athletes are only 2 minutes 40. The first two athletes, Lange and Tonheimer, are separated by 4 seconds. Another German in third, Siegmund, he goes off 29 seconds back. Jasper Good, the top United States athlete, he's back for 46 seconds. So going to be interesting.
You know, here's what I think. Steven Schumann is sitting a minute 24 back. He finished on the podium yesterday.
He's a good skier.
My guess is Steven is going to make his way onto the podium. Whether or not he's able to finish there, we're going to see him in the top 3 at some point in this race.
You think he's that good a skier?
I do. I think, as we talked about at the end of the jumping this morning, he's going to try to catch up to his teammate Jasper Good, and they're going to work together to try to break up that German sweep.
Here we go. Jakob Lange. Lange is a famous name in Germany.
Absolutely.
Andre Lange, the 3-time Olympic Games gold medalist in bobsledding.
And you know, it's pretty interesting when you come from a country with the depth that Germany has in Nordic combined. Jakob has some World Championship and World Cup medals under his belt, but you know, because he's got such an incredibly competitive team, he actually is here at the Continental Cup making sure Germany gets as many World Cup starts for next season as they can have. So he's actually doing a different job The young guys are trying to fight their way onto the World Cup. Jakob's making sure Germany has their full quota.
And these guys are qualifying to get up to the next level. And
yep. And you can see here, Tonheimer started out fast again. Yesterday he went out and took the lead, or he started in the lead and he tried to ski away with it, but no, that's not true. Tate France started in the lead. However, you can see he's already caught up to his teammate Jakob Lange. Lange, obviously a veteran athlete, knows 15Ks long, so he's probably going to try to settle into a rhythm. It'll be interesting to see if Tonheimer, A, tries to ski with Lange or even try to ski away from him, and also B, 45 minutes from now if he's still there.
Some Americans getting out there.
Yep, that's number 8, Grant Andrews.
You know, and again, 15 kilometers, it's 9 miles in distance.
Yep.
Just think you're sitting home, skiing 9 miles. How fast are they going to do this in, Billy? 30 minutes?
About 40.
40 minutes?
Yep. It'll be right around 38 to 40 minutes, depending on the snow. Steven Schumann, here's my pick to be in that podium fight. And again, for those of you that are just joining us today, we looked at the course homologation from yesterday. This lap of 2.5 kilometers has over 300 feet of climb per lap.
300 feet of climb. How many stories is that?
A lot. Let's see here. So the total climb on today's race is 546 meters. So multiply that by 3. It's over 1,500 feet, almost 2,000 vertical feet of climb in today's race.
Wow. Well, all you mountain climbers and hikers can identify with that. And these guys ski it. Now, different wax than yesterday? Same setup, you think?
I mean, every day you end up using something different. Everybody tests quite a bit, but you know, the snow is definitely not as wet as it was, and now that snow is starting to come in, so it'll be interesting to see. This will definitely impact the race, because if somebody chose structure on the skis for really wet conditions, it's going to pack in with that new snow and slow them down. Now you see the two Germans, Tonheimer on the front, Jakob Lange, the veteran, in second place, just taking the ride from his teammate.
Well, you know, in bobsledding, I always say the last great black magic breakthrough was in the runners. Same thing with the wax. Especially
Well,
all the rules and what you have now.
Today is more of a structure game than a wax game, to be honest. So what the type of stone grind, essentially, that's on the base of those skis is going to play a critical role here as the snow rolls in.
Here's our next 3 athletes out. You come out to that first left, sharp going up the hill.
And what you're seeing is what they call a wave start. So essentially at the 3-minute mark, they sent 3 athletes, and 10 seconds later they sent the final 2 athletes with Aiden Rip and Pavel Sindlar. That's Caleb Zuckerman. Here we have number 4, Jasper Good, America's top hope today after jumping. He's working his way up the big climb. Look how long that is. I mean,
TV doesn't do it justice how steep that is.
It is steep and it is long. It's going to take a long time for the athlete we see in the background there to get up to the top of that hill. But we should be seeing our leaders coming into the stadium to finish off this first lap here any second. There's that first wave that went out with Eric Lynch. It looks to be Eric Lynch, Henry Johnstone, and Aaron Kostner of Italy.
How about the little slush? I mean, you had 200 biathletes on this course this morning. You think it's getting a little sticky?
Oh, I mean, definitely with this new snow, it's going to be a slow, long race. And again, I mean, these stronger cross-country skiers are licking their chops right now. They want this to be long and slow and hard because they can make up more time.
So the hard, firm, fast ice, who wants that?
Honestly, the weaker cross-country skier wants it to be fast because they have a better chance to stay away or to ski with somebody who's a little bit faster than them if they're in the draft. But when it gets slow, it just becomes a strength event.
We are seeing some snow starting to accumulate, just come down light, but who knows, the next 10, 15 minutes, that could change the strategy in the race.
Well, and there's Steven Schumann, as we talked about. You know, he's making his way up. He started 20 seconds down on his teammate Grant Andrews and looks to have made up about 10 seconds already. So let's try to get a split on him as he comes through the stadium. There's number 5, Tate France. He was tied for 4th, actually, with his teammate and veteran 2-time Olympian Jasper Good.
Yeah, the snow's coming in.
It's coming in hard now. Now you see the Germans working together. Jakob back in the lead. They're just going to set a nice, hard time trial tempo, and then they'll probably just have to fight this out right at the end.
The green jersey, that's the leader in the Continental Cup Series. Is there any money to be the leader in the Continental Cup?
I don't know about an overall prize, but there's a nice little paycheck for the athletes who finish in the top 6 each weekend. So you figure I think the total purse per day is $1,500, John. So about 5,000 to the winner ish, 700. I can't remember exactly the breakdown, but with 18 events on the calendar, somebody can make a decent living during the winter if they're at the top of the game, like Jakob Lange is.
What was the most you ever won in the World Cup?
Money-wise? Yeah. When I was 3rd in the World Cup overall with quite a few victories one year, it was north of 6 figures. Definitely not something that's going to be retirement money, but,
It's better than what they make in bobsledding.
It's a tough deal, as you know, in these amateur sports. But I do think that Nordic Combined has done a nice job, as has ski jumping. And in the World Cup, they actually pay the top 20 athletes in Nordic Combined and the top 30 in ski jumping.
Really? Well, of course, the TV ratings for ski jumping in Nordic Combined in Europe are unbelievable. I always like to explain to people, there's no Mason-Dixon line in Germany. Everybody's a winter sport athlete and everybody's a winter sport viewer. The ratings for biathlon and cross country and jumping and Nordic Combined, huge. And my sport of bobsled, huge ratings.
Yep. So I'm going to try to get a time check here from the leaders. So as they make their way through the stadium, I'm going to be looking out the window and grab a split for us. So here we have number 10, that's Caleb Zuckerman, and number 14, Pavel Sindlar from Poland right behind him, out on course. But right now, I'm seeing...
These two guys are like in tandem.
Yep.
So are they talking to each other? Are they?
I don't know if they're talking so much as, right now, they know they've got a long ways to go.
They switch, put the other guy out front, maybe to, are you working less in the second position?
Definitely. And, at anything over 10 miles an hour, you start to get a pretty significant, draft going. And so let's see here. All right, there's number 4, Jasper Good, and number 7. Number 7 is, let's just look at that's David Mock. That's the 4th German. So they're trying to hunt down Nick Siegemund, who started in 3rd. He's still in 3rd right now. Jasper is still in 4th. David Mock has made up a couple spots, so he's actually looking to replace his teammate on the podium.
This is Nick Siegemund. He's trying to chase the other two down, but
he is, but you could see Nick struggling. I don't think this is going to be a race for Nick. He's not quite as strong a skier as he is a jumper, especially with the additional 5K and these slow conditions with the snow coming down. I'm anticipating Nick's going to get past. It's the question is, will Jasper or David or Steven, is it going to be a German sweep or are we going to break it up with an American? That was our youngster Tate France, and here we go. That's number 3, Nick Siegemund. I'm going to say if we hold this shot, we're going to see in just a second Jasper. There they are right there. They just saw him at the bottom of the screen there for a second. And there's our Austrian competitor, Marc-Louis Rayner. He's a veteran athlete of the Continental Cup and had some success on the World Cup as well. Mark, though, has been struggling a little bit to win any of these events in North America. All right, let's see here. We're back to our leaders. We got Wendelin Tonheimer leading the way here with his veteran teammate, Jakob Lange, the leader of the overall Continental Cup Series. Tate France of the United States, young kid, and like I was telling my friend John here, Tate is a phenom on the ski jump, very similar to me at 17, able to win the jumping or be right in the fight, but cross country is it's a strength competition, and it takes years of training to be at the level that some of these guys who are 20 to 30 years old are at.
So these are 1,500 meter runners in track and field, or 800 meters?
My guess is if you put Tate you put this field on the track for a mile, Tate's probably going to be one of the top athletes.
Really?
But if it was a 10K running race on the track, now you're into college age and older athletes. And it's the same thing here in skiing.
So what did you run? Did you go out and run 440 meters? Did you run miles to train?
I was more of a miler in high school, but ultimately as you get older and you train that big endurance engine, for a 10K race, I became a marathon runner when I was doing anything on foot. All right, here we go. We've got a few of our athletes. Aaron Costner of Italy, and that looks to be Henry Johnstone of Williams College and Team USA Nordic.
Well,
You can see Henry obviously
He's struggling.
He's struggling. He looks strong though. So again, he may have chosen a pair of skis with a lot of structure. That's not going to work well on a day like today with that new snow coming in.
And how did that affect these 200 biathletes that were out here this morning? Did that affect the track, or did they go out and groom it afterwards?
I do think they did some grooming. Like I said, I think they put some chemicals down. But when it's this warm out, it's just inevitably going to break down again. So you can see as Aiden Ripp from Paul Smith College navigates through those real deep, slushy ruts.
Here comes
and
the
here
crowd.
we go. Now
Here's
here's the fight for the podium, right? So we've got two guys way out in front with Jakob Lange and Wendland Tonheimer. But here's the third place on course right now, Nick Siegmund. And right behind him, here comes that podium group. And look, Steven Schumann, number 9, is right there. You've got Jasper Good in 4th right now with bib number 4, followed by David Mock of Germany, Marc-Louis Rayner of Austria, and Steven Schumann in the United States.
Schumann can ski.
Schumann can ski. And here's Grant Andrews, number 8. He's having a strong race. So, again, America trying to break up this German sweep on the podium. This is going to be a fight. So here we are. We're not even done with 2 laps now, and we're about to have a group for 3rd place of at least 4 or 5 athletes. Here come the leaders into the stadium right out in front of us. Jakob Lange has now taken the lead again. You can see Tonheimer is just standing up, shaking his legs out, taking advantage of the fact that he's in the draft.
How much do you save being in the draft? 5%, 8%?
I would say at the speed they're going right now, the fact that Jakob's basically having to crouch down to break the wind. Tonheimer is, he's literally getting to recover. He's letting that lactic acid, get back out of his legs because he's able to stand up behind him. So, in a percentage terms, I would say it's at least 10% over the course of the race if you're behind somebody.
Now, is Lange ever going to say to Thonmeyer, hey, you get out front. You do it for a while?
Well, actually, I think this is the 4th lead change. We've seen Jakob start in the lead. Tonheimer took the lead early. Then they swapped back at the end of the 1st lap. Then Tonheimer was leading most of the 2nd lap. Jakob just took it back again. That's a great shot. And there's Tate France again.
He's coming.
He looks super, super in control. And that's what's important at this age. It's not to try to be faster than you can be, but it's to do what you can do. All right, here they go. They're coming through the stadium right now. I'm going to get that split so we have a little bit of visibility onto the chase group. There's a lot of real estate right now. Those two are having a great race. Right now, it's just a race between the 2 of them for the win.
Up the hill. Now, somebody giving them lap times, and did they know what's going on? They know what's behind them?
Absolutely, yep. The coaches are all over the course with radios and stopwatches. I see the big chase group just entering the stadium right now. So that's easily putting them a minute down or so from the leaders. But really the fight right now is for 3rd place.
Here comes Aiden Ripp. He's out. He's already passed 1, 2. Yesterday he passed 6 athletes on his way to a 10th place. A young athlete from Paul Smith College.
Super strong skier, Aiden. All right, now it looks like from where I'm sitting, we'll confirm this on camera. Right now you see our 2 leaders. They're just finished one of the climbs at the beginning of the 3rd lap. So we're just about a third, or just over a third of the way. And okay, here comes Nick Siegmund in number 3. He is 1 minute and 10 seconds down to his German teammates, but as you can see, that big chase group with Jasper Good and Steven Schumann is hunting Nick down right now. So inevitably, he's going to get absorbed into this group. It'll be interesting to see if he's got the energy to ski the pace they're doing right now.
Is there any communication amongst those 4 to say, come on, guys, work together, or it's all or nothing?
For sure, Steven and Jasper will probably be talking soon. They're going to have to try to identify which of them has a better chance today, and they're gonna probably commit one of them to driving the pace and the other one to sitting in and making the attack. And again, Steven Schumann started at a minute and 24 seconds back. So he's currently made up about 10 seconds on the leaders.
Boy, they're catching up here. There's going to be a pass here pretty quick.
Yep, you can see.
5 skiers there. And you're saying that's for the 3rd position?
That is, yep, Nick Siegmund in bib number 3 started in 3rd.
Now
now he's giving up the podium spot to his teammate, David Mock, and Steven Schumann right on David. So Steven obviously positioning himself to be on the podium again today. Like we said, he's now in the fight for the podium. Now, he's had to make up quite a bit of ground. He started about 20 seconds down on David and 40 seconds down on his teammate Jasper Good. There's Aiden Ripp from Paul Smith College.
He's doing it.
Just absolutely hammering. That looks to be maybe Henry Johnstone right behind him. All right, here we go. Back to the lead.
Switch. Yeah, there's a switch.
You see Wendelin Tonheimer back in the lead again, taking his turn, pulling Jakob Lange up the big hill. And honestly, the savvy thing is to lead up the hill, because the other person doesn't really get the benefit of the draft. The speed's too low, and then let them lead on the flats, and you get to recover.
Doesn't always work that way, does it?
Well, you know, the best racers usually find a way to not be break and win for other people. There goes Tate France. He's headed out on his third lap. Again, 6 laps in today's race. Yesterday
number
we
11,
had 4. Yep,
Aaron
this is
Costner's made a big move.
Yep, Aaron is strong. He's one of the stronger Italians. Another young skier trying to work his.
He's caught a lot of people. He's up there passing Tate France.
My guess is we're going to see Aiden Ripp passing Aaron Costner here pretty quick, though. All right, here comes that chase group, and it looks to me like David Mock is still on the front with Steven Schumann right behind him. Again, a move this early is kind of risky. So unless somebody's feeling like they can really close that minute 10 gap to the lead, there's really no point to break away from this group right now.
Look at all the ruts and everything in there. What's going on? I mean, is that a challenge? Different type of skiing challenge?
Absolutely.
It's like a mutter.
When it's like this, it's much faster to focus on putting your skis in existing ruts than it is to actually try to work hard, because you get so much free glide by being in one of those old ski tracks.
So a mutter, like a mutter in horse racing?
Mm-hmm.
Or playing rugby, where I played a lot of rugby with your dad, and he loved playing in the mud.
Yeah, I bet he did.
He did. It was unbelievable.
Here comes Grant Andrews. Again, he's looking really strong, skiing his own race.
Look at the snow coming in,
That is tough conditions.
It's wet, too. Probably a wet, heavy snow.
And again, we talked about the structure on the skis. So when the snow starts coming down and it's getting onto this old, wet snow, it actually starts to stick to the structure of the skis. So depending on the ski choice, you could really get penalized or get a real benefit. So what I like, though, is that the Americans look to me like their skis are running really well despite this new snow. That gives me high hopes for Schumann and Good for the finale here. There goes Caleb Zuckerman, USA Nordic Junior National Team member. He's going out on his third lap. This is a very tough course without the snow. With the snow and the distance, this is going to be the hardest race these skiers do this year.
6 laps, right?
6 laps.
Yesterday they did 4 laps?
They did 4 laps yesterday. And, just to give everybody a time check, so as these athletes in the lead here, Jakob Lange and Wendelin Tonheimer of Germany, come in for their third lap, this is essentially the halfway point. We're 18 minutes into the race. So like I said, this is going to be a 37, 38-minute race. There comes Aaron Costner. You can see he's V2ing right
behind him.
That's Tate France from Lake Placid.
And then another person comes into it. That could be.
I believe that's Aiden Ripp. If I know technique, I think that's our Paul Smith College athlete.
And here comes the leaders. These guys have been out here on their own, their own little race within a race. Are they talking to each other, though? I keep asking you that. Is there anything going on? Slow down.
If they do, there could be. If one of them is hurting a little bit, they might tell their teammate, just so if that teammate wants to continue to work together, they will back off. But on the flip side, if you say, hey, I'm hurting, slow down, somebody might say, okay, see you later.
A race within a race.
A race within a race. All right, and there they go. They're out on lap 3. We're past the halfway point here, 19 minutes into the race.
So the snow is going to be a lot slower than it was yesterday.
Absolutely. This new snow is going to feel like glue. So the less structure they have on their bases, the less lines in that P-tex on the bottom of the skis, the better right now.
Good crowd on hand here watching this in this very spectator-friendly venue. And there's a lonely shot. And what's it like being out here all by yourself, Bill? What do you tell yourself? Wouldn't you rather be chasing somebody or seeing somebody get chased down?
Absolutely. It would be demoralizing to be alone on a day like today. But, You know, I've been there. I skied the 50K at World Championships in Oslo one year, and 50K, and I was kind of in no man's land. You know,
look who's here.
There's Aiden Rip.
Aiden Rip.
Yep, you can see he's gone wheeling by Tate France, and he's hunting Aaron Costner right now.
He could move up into the top 10 today.
Yep. Here comes our chase group. Steven Schumann is
Only
now
4.
driving at the front.
Only 4 of them there. There was 5.
I think Nick Siegemann, bib number 3 at the start, I think when he got caught, I think he threw the towel in.
Do you ever just say, I'm not finishing? Of course, you got to finish for points.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a short race. It's pretty rare to see somebody fully drop out. All right, minute 20 now. So the lead 2 from Germany seem to have really solidified, you know, their plan to just work together, you know, and just extend that gap and then fight it out between the 2 of them is working. So now what's going to be interesting, you know, knowing that there's no first or second place on the line right now, what do Steven, David, Jasper, and Mark Louis Rayner do to try to, you know, put themselves into that 3rd place? So right now, Steven is saying, I'd rather be the hammer than the nail.
Yeah, Steven's in the lead now. He's in the medal position as they get that uphill section. And
yeah, he's definitely thinking right now he's going to make it hurt. He's going to reduce the size of this group. No doubt he's going to lose 1 or 2 of those athletes. You can see there's already a little bit of a gap there opening up between David Mock and Mark Louis Rayner from Austria and Jasper Good at the top of that last hill. So Stevens, you know, I wouldn't say attack, but his dig here is paying off. He's now reduced it to a 2-man race for 3rd place. But he's got to be careful. David's an experienced skier. He's been on the podium a bunch. So if he keeps driving it, but David's, you know, taking advantage of being behind him for too long, he may not have the gas left in the tank to out-sprint David at the end. That being said, Steven is a smart racer. So what I would anticipate is as soon as that gap opens up a little bit more, Steven's going to look at David and he's going to go, okay, now it's your turn.
Oh, get out.
He's going to say, you got to take a pull. And again, you asked about what kind of talking goes on. At this point, with 2 guys like that fighting for 1 position on the podium, David might say to Steven, I don't care. I'm willing to sprint with those other 2 guys. I'll wait for them. There could be, you know, it could be back to a 4-man race here. I doubt it, but those are the kind of conversations that are going to happen now.
That's what happens in a 15K race. Is this the longest race? And what are the disciplines in the Olympic Games?
Yeah, for Nordic Combined, it's only 10K for the individual and 5K for the relay. There's Grant Andrews. Again, skiing a nice, steady race.
We haven't seen anybody go down yet, but it's a good possibility. Is it more of a possibility to go down when you're tired than when you're fresh?
Oh, yeah. You know, that lactic acid in your legs, you can see Jakob and Vendelin here exchanging leads again. Seems like they do it in the same place every time, you know, toward the top of that last climb. Now Steven, he's driving it hard. David Mock right behind him. But they have opened up a gap. I do not think Jasper Good will work his way back up. Mark Louis Rayner seems committed to staying in the fight for the podium, but he's having a hard time keeping contact.
It's number 9, number 7. David Mock, the German, is trying to chase down Steven Schulman for that bronze medal position. There's number 11. This is Aaron Costner.
He's having a good race. You know, it's hard to say where Aaron is right now, but somewhere right around 10th place. I believe Aiden Rip may have already passed him. If not, he's hunting him down.
Henry Johnston, as he gets into the uphill section under the bridge.
Yep, there's Tate France.
Tate is falling off the pace a little bit.
Again, super solid weekend, though, for Tate France.
Yeah,
young guy.
Jumping.
Yep. There's Bjorn Kircheisen. Coach Bjorn was silver medal when I won the World Championships in 2009. Here we have Steven Schumann, David Mock. They're hammering up the hill. They're definitely trying to tell Mark Louis Rayner to give up his fight for the podium. Jasper Good just kind of settling in, probably thinking about whether or not he can get back to Mark Louis Rayner and be in that top 6.
You know, 80 yards behind the bronze medal position. Nick Siegemann looks like he's made a little bit of a comeback.
He looks like he's definitely settled in. Tate France heading out.
Now, what is with the short sleeves here? Is that an ego thing, or is that more comfortable? Or How about you? Did you ever skiing like that?
Absolutely, but you know, it's really hard to race in a full
pole.
suit.
Lost a pole here.
That was a quick transition, though. Oh, no, he didn't get one yet. He just broke one and threw it to the coach. So now he's got to go find one on course. What's nice about this, he'll get one from another team.
So how did you break the pole? Just that happens?
Yeah, all the time. Somebody steps on it, you kick it. You know, when that pole's under stress, you know, they're just really light carbon. All right, here comes Aaron Costner up the big hill. We should be looking for our leaders any second now. They're making their way around the stadium to go out on lap 4.
There's our leader. Looks like he's got a little bit of a lead by himself.
Looks like Jakob Lange took the lead and decided to make it a one-man race.
Make a statement.
Oh,
no. We're
wait. No. He's lapping. You're right. You can see, all right, Vendelin just a few lengths behind him. But anyways, opening a gap this early in the race means to me Jakob Lange is not going to wait for the end. He's going to make this his race.
He just turned over his shoulder, looked behind him. As he said, I've had enough. I'm going to take control. There's 2 laps to go, right?
Yep, I think he just wanted to make sure that he had opened up that lead, and now he's just going to settle into a nice hard pace and just ski this in. He's not feeling threatened by anybody right now. Vendelin seems comfortable with second place.
So number 10, Caleb Zuckerman's been lapped. Now what's he going to do? Say, well, I'm going to stay with these guys now maybe? Or
you know, technically they could pull him from the race for being lapped, but because of the small field, my guess is they're going to leave him in. He's going to try to just ski with him. As long as he doesn't interfere, they won't pull him.
That's a good point.
So now what we got to be asking is, I see Steven Schumann and David Mock ripping across the back of the biathlon course, and we see here on camera Jakob Lange charging up the hill. I would say first place is solidified. Jakob's too experienced to make a mistake now. However, Vendelin Tonheimer, he's got 5 more K to ski, and Steven seems pretty fired up. There is a possibility, John, that if he and maybe even David Mock work together, they'll get back into that fight for second place. Here's Aiden Ripp from Paul Smith College. He's skiing a fantastic race. You can see the drool coming down his face. Nobody knows how to leave more out on course than this kid.
And he's got a 4.0 average at Paul Smith
and
College.
Recently a collegiate champion, national champion.
Yep.
Absolutely dominated the field.
Yeah, he had a great season he had for Paul Smith College Bobcats.
Yep.
There's some, that's Tate France.
So yeah, you can see Steven is the way Steven just bent over as he went out of frame there. He's working hard. So he's absolutely thinking about second place right now. Hopefully his coaches have let him know that Tonheimer has fallen off of Lange and it might be coming back.
Okay, here's Henry Johnston from Williams College.
Got a really strong development group here with this junior national team. Henry Johnstone, Caleb Zuckerman, Aiden Ripp, Eric Lynch.
Here's our battle for third.
Here's our third place battle.
Schulman, David Mock from Germany.
Oh, Steven taking a little swig of Coke. That's a move out of my book. I love to take a feed in even a race as short as 10K.
Something like Coca-Cola? Something not a Powerade or one of those energy drinks?
Just something to kind of, 2 things. One, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of caffeine, a little bit of energy during the race. But on the second point, it's something to kind of get your brain thinking about something else, It's nice to take a feed and just take a deep breath for a second. Probably not any other athletes are going to be taking a feed today. Here comes Jakob Lange. He obviously has opened up a huge gap. You can see Tonheimer down there at the bottom of the climb. I'm going to get a split on him. We'll see how Steven and David Mock are doing and making up that gap to second place right now.
Grant Andrews here. Steamboat Springs rush number 8.
He looks really nice and solid. Grant has really improved his cross country this year. I think Coach Nick Hendrickson has worked carefully with him on technique and just his consistency.
Where's the biggest improvement opportunity as a junior? In the jumping, skiing, both?
As a junior, the jumping can accelerate very quickly. But the nice thing with the cross country is if you keep training right, you will get faster and faster and faster.
So he's way out in front now compared to the...
Lange is showing why he's got the green jersey here. He's absolutely putting on a clinic.
Will we see Lange next year out on the World Cup circuit?
He's one of those guys who makes his way back and forth. Like I said, he's been on relay teams. He's got medals. He's got World Cup podiums. But right now his mission as a veteran is to be here, earning that spot for Germany to start next year on the World Cup.
He is 26 years old. He'll be 27 in August. Okay, here's number 2.
That's Wendelin Tonheimer. And I'm going to try to get a split to him because, again, I'm thinking there's a potential here for Steven and David Mock to overtake Tonheimer and potentially one of them get second place today.
Mark Louis Ranier from Austria.
Jasper Good right now.
From the U.S.
Jasper skiing a nice steady race, so he's in 5th place right now.
Nice shot.
Sorry, Jasper's in 6th place right now, and if he catches Marc-Louis Rayner, he's back in the top 5. There's Tate France. He's coming in for the end of his 3rd lap.
He's taking a lot of oxygen in bending over like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here it comes.
Aiden Rip. He's got the hammer down.
He has not stopped. And yesterday he went from 16th to 10th. He could do the same again today.
And these kind of conditions are good for Aiden. It's hard. He's very strong. He's also very light, so he can float over a lot of this sloppy stuff. You can see he almost is just kind of dancing up the hill. Here comes Henry Johnstone. Camera guys are doing a great job today, huh, John?
Yeah, well, they had a little practice yesterday. And good job, director Jordan Craig. And
there's Jasper Good. Looks like Nick Siegemann, he doesn't look good, but he's hanging in there.
Yeah, he's chasing down Jasper Good. This is for like 7th, 8th position. And, you can just feel him breathing.
All right, there's our leader, Jakob Lange. He's making his way out. This will be his 5th and final lap, I believe. Sorry. I'm losing track here. I'm going to pull up the live ticker on FIS, John. As we do that, we're looking at the big climb. That's Grant Andrews with Aaron Costner. So Aaron now working his way up toward Grant. Skiing a nice, strong race. Jakob Lange making his way through the stadium.
Well, he's had a great weekend here in Lake Placid, but he's had a great weekend in almost every place he's been. Now, the green jersey, explained it to me yesterday, not the yellow jersey of the Tour de France or most sports. Why the green?
So, yellow jersey is in Nordic Combine reserved for the World Cup leader. So the green jersey is for the Continental Cup leader. And so Jakob has been basically a hired gun to win the overall Continental Cup for Team Germany and get them that extra spot for the World Cup.
How much does the top cross-country or Nordic combined skier make in the world today?
Just on prize money, usually about $150,000. But with endorsements, especially depending on the nation,
Germany,
it can be pretty big. It could be a few $100,000 a year for sure. Jakob looking very strong. I'm sure he's trying to prove to the World Cup coaches who are probably watching this at home in Germany that he deserves to be back on the World Cup at the start of next season. Again, 26 years old, not old for Nordic Combined. So, he's probably, again, a nation like Germany, you've got 10 or 15 guys who could all be on the World Cup, but you can only ski 6 or 7 at a time. So Jakob is...
Well, what is the max?
It's 7.
And how many does the U.S. put in? 7?
Nope, we only have 4 right now. So each country, and that's why Jakob's here doing this.
So the top countries get more allocation than the lesser countries.
Exactly.
Same in bobsled. The top nations get 3. The lesser nations get 2. The lesser nations get 1.
Yep. Yeah, and again, Jakob is earning this extra 7th spot. So 6 is sort of the maximum quota, but you can get 1 additional spot from the Continental Cup. So there's Tannheimer. He looks tired. So as we have this last lap, I don't know. It could be, I haven't been able to get a time split, but Steven Schumann and David Mock certainly have not given up their fight to catch Wendelin here. You can see Wendelin, though. He's giving everything to try to make it through this last lap and finish on the second place.
Well, the conditions had stopped snowing almost, but we had a little squall that came in. Of course, he's hanging in there.
There's Eric Lynch. He's a bigger guy, so these slushy conditions probably aren't his favorite, but he looks like he's maintaining some good energy, skiing a nice solid race. Can't quite make out who's there behind him. All right, here we go. Here's our third place group. Oh, David Mock shaking the legs. That's not a good sign for him. That means he's cramping. Steven Schumann's Coke must be doing the trick.
So it's cramping, huh?
Yep, that little pickup of the legs, that means to me he's starting to really hurt. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't blow up, but that's an early onset kind of sign. There's Aaron Costner of Italy. He just overtook Grant Andrews of Steamboat Springs and USA Nordic's national team. Here's Henry Johnstone. He's looking strong, skiing a nice steady race. Henry had a good collegiate season as well, but his focus this year was for sure more on Nordic combined. He comes from a family of Olympic athletes.
And when do you make the decision? You're a cross-country skier, and all of a sudden you make a decision to start to jump, or are you a jumper?
You know, you pretty much need to start jumping as a younger athlete. Just the amount of technique, and I think there's a fear factor involved for sure. You see a lot of athletes that'll do Nordic combined, and then somewhere around 16 to 18, they'll specialize in either ski jumping or Nordic combined. But if they stay with Nordic combined, oftentimes if they're not quite making it on the international circuit, then they'll just specialize in cross country and maybe go to college and race, or even see if they've got what it takes to make it as just a cross country skier. We've seen quite a bit of that actually internationally. There's Aaron Costner. He's got a little bit of a drool beard going as well. So obviously he's putting everything he's got out here for the last race of the year. There's Vladu, our jury member, our TD.
How many jury members do you have in a race?
4.
4?
Yep.
And they usually follow the circuit the whole time?
No. We'll have one race director who's on the jury. That's Michael Neumeier from Germany. He's here, but the rest of them will alternate. You know, usually 1 or 2 assignments per year as TD, TDA, kind of probably similar to Bob. So there's Steven Schumann, David Mock hanging on tight.
That's for third, right?
That is for third place.
Aiden Ripp.
There's
He's
Aiden Ripp.
made up some more time. Interesting to see where he's going to finish today, but he's definitely passed 3 or 4 people already. He improves his jumping. He might be able to make a statement in a few years.
Absolutely. You know, and again, jumping, he could turn that around tomorrow. You know, jumping is very fickle. And I know Aiden's had some great jumps this year. He's made some great progress. But on the flip side, he hasn't had a lot of chance to train just lately with a lot of travel and other things in the collegiate nationals we were talking about. So he's a little rusty right now, but he'll take a break this spring and come out firing at it this summer here on these new hills in Lake Placid. All right, we should be seeing our leader Jakob Lange coming into the stadium here shortly. I see that they've pulled the barriers to enter the finish. So 38 minutes in, we should be seeing our first finisher in a matter of minutes. There goes one of the Italian. It's either one of the athletes or the coaches running to catch the finish here. I just saw Jakob Lange go flying by my booth, and here's Mark-Louis Rayner. He's determined to stay ahead of Jasper Good and hang on to that 5th place. They do pay top 6 here, so Jasper isn't going to be in the money, but I'm sure he wanted to get Mark here. All right, here comes Jakob Lange. He's going to be taking a different road in.
The leader.
He is coming in for the finish. He'll be our first athlete of the day. Green jersey takes the season finale lead in the longest race of the year. 39 minutes on the clock right now, almost 40.
2 days in a row.
2 days in a row. I think he's won at least 3 of this tour. This might be his 4th victory of the North American Tour this year.
Winner.
There's our winner, and I see Wendelin Tonheimer just past our booth. So considerably far, considerably far behind Lange, but I thought I saw Steven Schumann, but that's not him. That's somebody who's a lap behind. So looks like Tonheimer will comfortably hang on to 2nd place. We'll see him around that final bend here in a second. And now David Mock and Steven Schumann should be also coming in. Okay, let's see if we can get some finish line action. Here comes Tonheimer. He's coming in for that second place. Again, young athlete, trying different tactics out. He went with the veteran today. He finally gave it up, but he was able to ski a nice, strong race on his own, cement that second place. He's happy.
How exhausting is that? And then
here comes David Mock. He took that ride from Steven Schumann. He was able to save a little bit of energy and pop a move out here on course. Steven Schumann coming into the finish as well. So the Germans have swept the podium. Steven Schumann bringing in 4th place for Team USA.
Still a good result. Schumann started way back. You know,
Yep,
he
again.
started a minute 24 back, and he almost got a full minute on Siegmund, but couldn't catch him.
Yep, there's Aiden Rip. You know, that's the beauty of Nordic Combined, right? There's so many different tactics that could potentially work, and the setup changes every day. So Steven obviously took a chance. He went from a minute 24 back. He clawed his way all the way up to 3rd place for much of the race. You know, he might look back at this after the race and say, maybe I shouldn't have led so much. You know, he basically led the second half of the race for David Mock. And even though I think Steven might have been the stronger skier, Mock was able to conserve a little bit more energy and pass Steven there at the end. There's Grant Andrews. He's probably ready to be done with the season right now. The only thing we need to have a beach out here is some sunshine. All right, Jasper Good brings it home for Team USA, and I believe that was 6th place. Young Tate France.
Like Placid.
He's going to remember this race for the rest of his life.
Sure. This is running with the big dogs.
This will be the inspiration he needs to get out and train this summer. I know Tate, he is not wanting for motivation, so he's going to take this and he's going to analyze it, and he's going to come back and ski a minute faster next year.
Number 3 across the line.
Yep, there's Nick Sigmund. He dropped from 3rd to 7th.
David Mock, 7th to 3rd.
Yep.
There's the big change. Everybody else, a lot of chalk. And here comes Tate with T-shirt on.
Again, Tate looking super smooth for 40-plus minutes into the race.
How old is he?
He's 17 years old. And
how many years you been jumping?
He's been jumping for a long time, but you know, really just in the last year or two, he's started to break out in the international stage. And you know, local coaches supported him this year to go to Norway with a couple other Americans and just do something different. And so
he's going to go to school there, I heard. He's going to take a year off and go to school over there.
Yep. I think that's a really mature thing to be doing at 17 years old, to go to another country, to kind of be embedded in their culture, how they train. And all the athletes that went over are really loving it and have come back and done some really strong results at the Continental Cup level. There's Eric Lynch. He's up the hill for the last time. He looks strong right now. All right. Well, while we wait for our last few finishers, you can see our overall leader is heading out on his cool down. We're going to be live streaming the award ceremonies for all of our events this weekend. As Aaron Costner shows how hard that race was for him. He's going to take a little snow nap right now. All right, as our last few skiers come in, we've got Grant Andrews of the United States. Gun to gun, he's looking strong. He skied his own race. And there's Eric Lynch, one of our last racers on course. John, why don't we go back and take a look at some of the exciting stuff that we've done here this week as we get set up for the award ceremony to come?
Well, we could go back to our number 18, our Friday recap, to show what happened yesterday. You know, just to give everybody a tune. It's been a great 2 days here, and you know, the iconic ski jumps, the pyramid. Friday, March 25th was another busy day in the winter sports capital of the world on Lake Placid. First up, FIS Continental Cup Nordic combined for men jumping started in the morning, and a Lake Placid athlete, Tate France, was the best jumper in the field. Then they went out to Mount Van Hovenberg for a 10K race, and Tate, he went out first, followed by German Wendelin Thanemeyer of Germany, and in third place, not far behind, was Jasper Good from Steamboat Springs. Then another German, Jacob Lange in the green bib, who was the Continental Cup leader, and then American Steven Schumann. What a battle these athletes would put on. Tate would lead for most of the race, but in the end, it was the German, Jacob Lange, who would emerge the winner, followed by his teammate Thanemeyer, and in third place was the American Steve Schumann from Park City. At the women's ski jumping event, Annika Belsha of Steamboat Springs. She was the best jumper over 2 runs. Second went to Katrina Elmar of Austria, and third went to another Austrian, Hanna Weigel. Last few athletes coming in, and final race of the year. What was that like, Bill, when you noticed the season was over? Were you happy, or were you still anxious to say, boy, I wish I had more, or have you had enough?
You know, as a younger athlete, I was usually pretty hungry to get going again. But, you know, as I got good at peaking and really getting ready and having my best race in February for the Olympics or the World Championships, man, by the time March rolled around, I was done.
Had
You
enough.
could stick a fork in me. Here comes Henry Johnstone. He's finishing it off strong. I think that's the hardest sprint I've seen so far.
Yeah, well, it's through and down this season.
Again, young and hungry. These guys are going to be hitting the training, and just a couple weeks from now, they're going to start all over again, building this up for next year. There's Grant Andrews, and I love those American suits this year. I think they look great.
Red, white, and blue. We don't really have.
And here comes Eric Lynch.
So
he's finishing it off nice and strong as well.
Probably
really tall kid. He's very strong. Again, he's overcome a lot of hardship in the last few years with some health issues. Love to see him, you know, just loving competing, working hard. Looks like we've got Caleb Zuckerman. He's probably happy to be going up this hill one last time and know that it's the last time for the season. Again, fantastic job, Pavel Sinlar from Poland out here. Fantastic job to the Orta crew in the state of New York for just absolutely pulling off an incredible venue revamp, putting Mount Van Hovenberg, you know, on top of the world for a Nordic international venue.
And how about this morning, seeing those couple hundred biathletes? You know, it was pretty unbelievable.
So, you know, John, we're going to take a quick break while we get set up for awards. Most of our racers have finished. We're going to show you some content that we've captured over this amazing season, this new season breaking in the amazing venues here in the Olympic region. And we'll be right back with you for the award ceremony.
we're buying time before the awards ceremony. You know, in the history of Lake Placid, we've been talking about the 3280 games and where we are now, but let's take a nice look back at the history of some Lake Placid sports.
Lake Placid is old. You know what I mean? Not like crumbling old, historic old, legendary old. Do you know how many champions were crowned here? How many gold medalists? Record setters? Yeah, me neither. But it's a lot, and the list keeps growing. The 32 Olympics, the 72 FIS World University Games, the 80 Olympics. The world knows Lake Placid. And we are not done yet. History is still being written. History is being rebuilt. Brick by brick. Slopes and lifts, ranges and trails, smoother ice, immaculate snow, brighter lights, steeper hills. Old, but renewed. Dreamers will flock to our fields. We've built it. They will come. And they'll bring the heat, ready for battle on snow and ice. We've built it for the world, for Earth, to save winter. To add another chapter to our story, the story of those who come to
Again,
achieve.
buying time here in Melvin Hovenberg for the award ceremony for both days. And, you know, we have to show you one more time what happened here on Thursday night, the welcome back athletes from Beijing. The Olympians Welcome Home Parade kicked off in Lake Placid on March 24th with hundreds of athletes, including many former Olympians and over a dozen who competed last month in Beijing. Lake Placid is in the midst of hosting a number of events in the month of March, and this weekend is a busy one with the USA National Biathlon Championships, the FIS Men's and Women's Continental Ski Jumping event, and Nordic combined competitions, along with the D3 Men's Ice Hockey National Championships. But the evening belonged to a celebration of the past, present, and even the future Olympians, with a parade down the main street of Lake Placid under the new Olympic Oval, where speeches were made to celebrate the Olympic legacy of Lake Placid. The MC of the evening was Paul Wiley, who was the 1992 Olympic silver medalist in figure skating and the director of sport for the Olympic Authority.
This village has been in the Olympic winter sports business for over 100 years.
Olympic Authority CEO Mike Pratt talked about what the world needs now.
The world needs sport right now. We need unifying values, competitions, fairness. We're happy that all you athletes are here to help show us the way to a better world.
Two-time Olympic alpine skiing medalist Andrew Wybrook talked about what it meant to him growing up in Lake Placid.
It was such a pleasure and such an honor to grow up in Lake Placid and to be part of the Olympic fabric here.
But the highlight of the evening was the 2022 Olympic bronze medalist in women's bobsled, Sylvia Hoffman, who provided an emotional speech of what she went through to become an Olympian.
So I want to thank the community of Lake Placid. I want to thank the state of New York. I also want to thank ORDA and the Federation of USA Bobsled and Skeleton for giving me the opportunity to train with you all. I couldn't do that alone. It took you all and it took everyone that believed in me to help us get this Olympic bronze medal that I have right here today.
There were many other former Olympians who were very impressed with the celebration of Lake Placid's Olympic legacy.
It's incredible. Like, not only do you have a ton of historical hometown Olympians, you've got a ton of Beijing Olympians, and a whole host of athletes that are here to compete in a bunch of different sports, and a ton of excited youth. So, awesome day.
Inspiring, and to be here with just like friends and family who were supporting us before they even knew we were going to be Olympians was just a great feeling.
I grew up dreaming about the Olympics, so to make it come true this year and just see everyone in town, all my friends, all my family, it's just an unreal experience.
Lake Placid always surprises me with the Olympic spirit, where it comes out, when it comes out. It can be a shoulder season like now, it can be in the middle of winter, it can be in the middle of summer, and the winter Olympic spirit comes out.
At the end of the evening, Sylvia Hoffman lit the torch and opened up the weekend of national championships and Olympic celebrations.
All right, well, John, that was super fun the other night.
Yeah, just a great collection of people. There's still some people down on the finish line.
It's kind of funny, after some spring weather, it looks like winter's not ready to give up out here at Mount Van Hoevenberg.
No, it's supposed to get cold this week, real cold at night, which some of the alpine skiers are still waiting for days down at Whiteface. And I'll still get some cross-country skiing back on the Peninsula trails. There's some good snow in the woods still. Maybe even come out here. We'll get the Orta guys to still groom maybe the track out here.
Yep, you can see now it's going to be a race to get out of here. You've got the live timing guys picking up their gear, getting ready to fly back to Switzerland and take some time off. You've got Team USA taking looks like a bit of a team photo, but maybe some friends, family and girlfriends included.
Now we're going to be going to the awards plaza here pretty quick.
Well, John, I got to tell you, this has been an absolutely fantastic live stream. Thank you and the crew here with Jordan Craig for putting this together. This kind of live television on a stream cast is for sure the future of content for especially these lower level events. And when I say that, World Cup is World Cup, and people are spending $250,000 a weekend on live television, which is a lot of money to spend. We can't do it for these smaller events, but we've got a burgeoning audience that wants to see these young racers compete. And so whether it's Nordic combined, cross country, biathlon, bobsled, this is a fantastic platform for us to show the world all the exciting things that are happening at venues like Orta.
Yeah, and what they've done here, in these venues is absolutely spectacular. And what New York State's done for the World University Games, we rebuilt our venues. We talked about it, Bill. 1932 we built, $600,000 of a ski jump, bobsled run, Olympic arena, speed skating oval. 40 years later, 1973, Lake Placid got the bid for 80. We rebuilt the venues again at a lot more of an expense. And then, of course, 41 years later, we've rebuilt the venues again, now for the World University Games. So Lake Placid's future and its legacy is well extended for the next couple decades. But I got to ask you, how long is it going to take us to get that share of medals back from Norway? I mean, Norway had 36 medals. They broke the record again this year. That little small country dominates the medal podium. I think we were fourth in medals with 26, up from what we did a couple years ago. Not as many as we did, I think, in the 2010 games. But what's it going to take for us to start stealing some of that market share?
Well, John, what it really takes is time. And when you've got good programs with good development efforts in place, it takes 10 years or so for that to pay off. And what you see out here today is the Nordic combined team is, pushing onto the podium at the Continental Cup. They were, 6th at the relay in Beijing. I think they're on track to fight for medals in 2026. And obviously women's jumping with Annika Belshaw taking her first victory yesterday and a second place today. That young team also is starting to get into that pipeline for medals. So what we need to do now, in not just the ski jumping Nordic combined, is give these programs the resources they need, which is, obviously some financial support, but also time.
One thing I think that individual sports seem to have more of a happening in United States culture. The people in Ironmans, those Tough Mudder events.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed more kids involved with, over at Dewey Mountain where you started.
Yep.
It's amazing. Saranac Lake and Lake Placid have got some of the most successful high school programs that exists. But it's all about training. In the fall, U.S. Nordic, you organized a fall training camp that you organized, and that was pretty successful. And I think we're going to show you some video from that. It's about recruiting kids into the program. And here's the beautiful jumps. I mean, the plastic on the jumps, right? How important is the summer jumping?
So, I mean, obviously, John, these days, with all the World Cup and Continental Cup events that happen in the winter, all the training really needs to happen in the summer. And so these jumps being rebuilt will help these athletes not have to travel so many days overseas in the training season, be able to get many more repetitions. And with the new ice tracks, they can even actually have a refrigerated track in temperatures as warm as 60 or 50 or 60 degrees, so long as there's not a lot of direct sunlight.
This is what you did out of Paul Smith College.
Yeah, and I mean, everything we did last fall was a huge vision coming together all at the same time. You know, we reopened the ski jumping venue after a massive construction project. Mount Van Hovenberg was recently reopened. Paul Smith College has put in a great venue for cross country and biathlon. And, you know, that Center for Sports and Education that they've got out there, we have 26 athletes across the disciplines. And then we were able to tag on a high performance trip to New York University, Langone Hospital, and do some performance testing and some research with our athletes alongside their best in the world staff and doctors.
Well, it's a fall training days. I mean, you plan this.
That's Jason Colby, nephew of Casey Colby, two-time Olympian from Lake Placid in ski jumping.
And the Colbys were all skied with the Morgans. Did you know that 11 Morgans, 7 boys, I was the only one didn't jump.
Never ever?
No, I had a few trips down, and I think I fell off to the side. It was 20 below zero. Told my mother I want to go play basketball, but you know, and but the other Morgans, Terry, Sean, brother Jim, late brother Jim, Brian, they were all part of that that Lake Placid junior jumper program that produced so many like the Colbys.
Yep, and then you guys were the backbone of the bobsled, American bobsled.
Hey, coming out where you see these pictures in front of you, behind you, the old 1980, 1932 track, and then they rebuilt the track on the left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just an amazing. In the building where we are now, on the 3rd floor, they got that indoor bobsled push track. They got the running track on the 1st floor. What a facility New York State has built.
Yeah, it's incredible. And, you know, it's it's incredible to see the amount of passion that this area brings. You know, not just Lake Placid, but Saranac Lake, Tupper Lake, Elizabethtown, all the way out to Malone and Potsdam. You know, we're going to be hosting the World here next winter like we have in the past for the World University Games. You know, it's going to be more of a regional effort than just a single town. And you can already see that the volunteers are starting to get enthusiastic. The venues around the region are opening up and getting ready. So, you know, I'm looking forward to a bright future of sports eventing and training and really developing America's next generation of Olympians right here in our backyard.
Yeah, we have to do that because, again, I get a little dismayed when I look at that medal count and see Norway winning all the medals. And, you know, to me, if we concentrate on Nordic and biathlon by 2032, we should be able to steal back some of those medals. And with this facility here,
yep,
you know, and the effort out in Salt Lake City to try and bring the Olympics back also. Let's talk a little bit about New York State maybe having an Olympic Games. That little conversation has been floated, you know, that we have opening ceremonies in Yankee Stadium and the hockey events spread out across the state and the Alpine and Nordic up here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
It's a huge vision. And, you know, I got to take my hat off to you and members of the IOC and people here at ORDA in New York State for starting to really think about what would it take to make a viable Winter Games here in New York State. And to be honest,
venues are here.
The venues are here. They're ready to go.
And then you think of Milan Cortina, the footprint that the IOC has there. Milan and Cortina are like 260 miles apart.
Yeah.
And that's not much difference between Lake Placid and Buffalo or Lake Placid and New York City.
That's absolutely right.
And, you know, so the future of the Olympics is about sustainability and having venues that have a life after the games itself. There were so many times the Olympics in the past where they built these monster venues, and it was for 3 weeks, and nobody had a post-Olympic event in mind. And, you know, so that conversation is the maturation of the Olympic movement, which it needs.
Absolutely. And again, you know, Lake Placid's had 2 Winter Olympic Games and is in better shape than any other Olympic venue in history, you know, especially given that it's been 40 years since the last time around. So I think you're absolutely right. The venues are ready to welcome the world back. We're going to do it next year with the World University Games, and we're going to do it over the next decade with a lot of international competitions. And, you know, I'll be keeping my finger on the pulse of this potential Olympic host conversation.
Yeah, and well, we're still awaiting the award ceremony. How long do they say? 5 minutes? Well, let's take a look at one more fun video. Right here, where that building is you're looking at right there in front of us, they house about 40 of these little miniature bobsleds, it looks like, and they have this summer ride program called the Alpine Coaster Ride, Bill. It is an amazing ride. The old track, you go up to the top of Mount Van Hovenberg, and then you go down the old track on the left. What a history. Cliffside here. And you've been on the ride. There's the old track. This is the Cliffside.
It's a ton of fun, and I gotta admit, like, it's actually really, you can totally go as fast as it'll go, but it's really hard to make yourself do it because they pull some G's there in the last couple corners.
Let me tell you something. It's one of the best rides I've ever been on. There's old shady curve. There's a 360 that you get in the bottom, and so if you get a chance to come out here, in the summer, they start opening it back up about May 1st, and it's well worth the investment. And a little historical narrative from myself.
I know. That was the best part. No, it's something totally different than your average amusement park. It's a lot more informative and a lot of fun, and it's got some adrenaline thrills for a little bit of something for everybody.
We're still buying time. We're going to go back to one of our favorite pieces of the day. There was 200 biathletes out here, which was unbelievable.
And that's a record for the national championships, right?
And it was just a spectacular U.S. national championships, and it was the largest turnout ever. People from Alaska, they're every place, and so all of a sudden we're out there. Somebody tells us Andrew Wybrick is competing. I went, what? So we ran out with a camera. We got him on his last lap. The two-time Olympic silver medalist, medalist. He won a bronze in 2010, the Olympics in Vancouver, where you won your gold medal. Then he followed up 4 years later with a silver medal in Sochi. The only two World Cup, World Championship, Olympic medals he ever won were those two. What two great medals to win. So here he is in the Masters Biathlon event, and I caught up to him. I thought maybe he's done this before, but we approached him for a camera. He's breathing hard.
Shooting a biathlon rifle was this morning, so that was it.
Got a little different respect for these biathletes?
Oh, I always had a lot of respect for them. I'm more impressed with how they shoot, because I shot 2 for 20, so there's a lot of extra laps.
Yeah, and how about the facility?
It's unbelievable. This is actually the first time that I've been on the new facility, and just hearing what it was like a couple days ago, and then they were able to flip the switch, make the snow they needed for this caliber event. It's incredible.
How about the number of people here?
Well, yeah, I mean that too. It's amazing. It's like a field of dreams. If you build it, they will come, and it's exciting to have this caliber of competition in Lake Placid and this number of athletes that are excited about it.
So we're waiting the award ceremony, so bear with us. There's both days, both events. The women's ski jumping, 2 days of men's Nordic combined. Let's take a look at what we call the 100 former Olympians that came from the Lake Placid region. Since the inception of the Winter Olympic Games in 1924, over 100 athletes have come from Lake Placid and the surrounding region and represented the United States at the Winter Olympic Games. Names like Andrea Kilborn-Hill, Andrew Wybrick, Billy DeMonk, Chris Masder, and Tim Burke in the modern area, but the legacy goes back decades with families like the Stevens brothers in 1932 or the Shea family, and then the many famous individuals like Art Devlin or Stan Benham, most of who are all in the Lake Placid Hall of Fame. This year's Olympic team of athletes from the region includes Hunter Church from Katyville, Chris Masder of Saranac Lake, Emily Sweeney and Sean Hollander of Lake Placid, and Johnny Gustafson from Messina. And it is estimated that close to 40% of the 2022 USA Winter Olympic team has come through the Lake Placid facilities. In fact, 100% of the U.S. team in the sports of ski jumping, cross-country skiing, biathlon, bobsled, luge, and skeleton were all on the Lake Placid venues in 2021. The 1980 Olympic facilities have been modernized to enable year-round training and events which will support the athletes in their Olympic quest. And the director of sport for the Olympic Authority, Paul Wiley, believes it perpetuates the Lake Placid legacy.
Lake Placid has sent an Olympic athlete to every Olympics since 1924, over 100 athletes. In fact, the first gold medal in the Winter Games was won by a Lake Placid native. So we're set up now for the future because of this investment that New York has made. These incredible venues are now world-class, homologated trails for skiing, snowboarding, biathlon, ski jumping, figure skating. All of the different sports are perfectly ready for the next 40 years.
The next time you travel to Lake Placid, check out all of the new Olympic facilities. And when you enter town, you will feel what these athletes have felt for almost 100 years. An Olympic experience like no other.
All right, well, John, I just got word that the award ceremony's been delayed a little bit, so what do you think we take a little break? We'll leave the feed on. We'll just keep a shot up at the awards podium here, and then we'll come back live and we'll post this video, for people to watch in the future. But we're going to take a little break from the live feed.
Billy, it's been fun working with my fellow Saranac Lake High School graduate. Although it's been a great weekend. Just great to see all the young athletes and seeing the European athletes here for the first time. I mean, in women's combined, the most ever national championship biathlete participants we've ever had in the United States. So it's been a great weekend, and let's go out and watch some of these people get some of these awards.
All right, sounds great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back soon.
Should camera 5 get put away and taken out of the snow? Asking if camera 5 should be broken down or at least moved out of the way from the snow. Copy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We've had an outstanding couple of days here on Continental Cup for ski jumping women and Continental Cup coming to a close for Nordic combined. Thank you to all the athletes and coaches and officials for a really fantastic event. So we're going to go through the awards, and we'll do it relatively quickly, but also honoring as we want to do that. But we do want you to get some food too. Handing out the awards today is Orta's Director of Sport, Paul Wiley, and thank you, Paul. Let's begin with Friday ski jumping women, as we have some catching up to do. In 6th place, and we'll bring you all up from the United States, Anna Hoffman. In 5th place, representing Austria, Vanessa Moritich. 5th place.
I take it that's not how you say it.
In 4th place, from the United States and here at NICEF from Lake Placid, Nina Lucy. Now on to the top 3 steps of the podium. In 3rd place from Austria, Hanna Wigele. And as you know, we have a tie for first place. So let us bring up now from Austria, Katharina Elmauer, and simultaneously to that, from the United States, Annika Belshaw, USA Steamboat Springs. Ladies and gentlemen, let us honor our champions in a tie in first place. First, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Austria.
Yes, one?
I'm painting all over. I'm panning around.
Ladies and gentlemen, we honor our other first place champion, Annika Belshaw, with the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. Congratulations and thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next set of awards for Saturday ski jumping for women. And we will bring up the podium right now. In sixth place, from the United States of America, Anna Hoffman. In fifth place, representing Canada and the Olympians Nordic Club, Natalie Eilers. In fourth place, representing Austria, Vanessa Nordic. In third place, representing Austria, Katharina Elmauer. In second place, from Steamboat Springs, USA, Annika Belshaw. And the top step and the gold medal, representing Austria, Hanna Winkele. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor our champion, the playing of the Anthem of Austria. Congratulations and thank you. Great competitors. We're very fortunate to have you with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go on now to Continental Cup overall season standings. This is for women's jumping. 2 of the 3 are not here. 1 of them is here and we'll bring her up. But in 3rd place, the season totals of the Continental Cup, representing Austria, Sophie Schorschan. In 2nd place, and she is here, representing Austria, Hanna Winkele. Hanna, would you please come up? There you go. And 1st place will be Lucy Gordich, representing Germany. Congratulations to you from afar. Let us give a round of applause to Hanna Winkele, Austria. Congratulations, great season. Congratulations, Hannah. Thank you. Ein großes Dankeschön. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will do the Friday Nordic combined men, which is a very exciting competition. We'll bring up the top 6 to the podium. Beginning at 6th place, Mark Louis Reiner from Saalfelden, Austria.
All right, you're going to make me chase you.
And in 5th place, United States of America from Steamboat Springs, Jasper Good. In fourth place from Germany, from Ski Club the Buchenberg, David Mock. In third place, from Park City Ski and Snowboard Club and United States, Stephen Schulman.
There's a story here. Oh yeah.
In second place, from Ski Club Oberstdorf in Germany, Wendelin Tannheimer. And taking the gold medal in this event from Kirmesfelden Ski Club in Germany, Jakob Lang. Our podium is complete, ladies and gentlemen. Let us honor the winner by playing of the national anthem of Germany. Congratulations and thank you. We'll clear the podium in a moment, and then we'll have today's Nordic combined for men. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to today's race, sixth place from the United States, Jasper Good.
Oh, another one?
In fifth place, representing Austria, Ski Club Salzfelden Salzburg, Mark Lutz Reiner. In fourth place, representing United States of America, Stephen Schulman. In third place, representing Germany, David Mock. In second place, representing Germany from Ski Club Oberstdorf, Wendelin Tannheimer. And ladies and gentlemen, first place from the FIS Continental Club, representing Germany, Jakob Lang.
Nicht schlecht.
Bravo! Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let us honor our champion with the playing of the national anthem of Germany. Congratulations to all of our podium. We're glad that you have been with us here in Lake Placid. Our final set of awards, before we hear some very brief remarks from Paul Wiley from Orda, is the season-long Continental Cup in Nordic combined. And all three are here. So this year, in third place, 776 points from Germany, Wendelin Tannheimer. In second place, he amassed 1,044 points this year, representing Germany, David Mock. And at the top step of the podium with 1,406 Continental Cup points, from Germany, Jakob Lang. And they certainly did a marvelous job this season. Let us give a big bravo to the top three. Thank you. All right, thank you guys. Congratulations. Now, I'm going to turn the microphone over to an Olympian himself. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of Sport at Orda, Mr. Paul Wiley. Paul?
Thank you, Peter. Just briefly, I want to say thank you to all the countries for coming and congratulations on a job well done. And I want to say a brief thank you to USA Nordic's outgoing CEO, Billy DeMond, for a great career as the amazing things that he has done for the sport. And finally, one of Lake Placid's own, is retiring. And so we want to say, Nina Lucy, we want you to, have a wonderful next career, and we've enjoyed watching you compete and train, and good luck with everything. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your trip home.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thanks, everybody. We haven't been a big crowd, but you're spirited, and we're very happy to have you here. Have a great off-season. Go to someplace warm for a couple weeks, and thank you all. We'll see you again next season. So long, everyone.